This video covers the form section of the Umbraco back office. Let's go ahead and create a form. First thing we want to do is name our form. It will give you a default consent for storing submitted data checkbox. You can choose to keep this or delete it. If you want to delete this question here, you can do so by clicking on the trash can icon and clicking delete. You can add different question types here by clicking the Add Question button. You enter in the name of the question and then you choose an answer type. You have a variety of options to choose from for answer types. For this one, we're going to choose short answer. Long answer is a larger text field box. A short answer is a one-line input box. And then you have other options such as checkboxes, multiple choice inputs, hidden fields, file uploads, reCAPTCHA, data consents, and many more. And here you can also enter default values or placeholder values. Once you've done so, you can also enter in maximum length. And also you can choose a type of field that this is going to be. And you can also include whether or not the field is mandatory. Checking this box will prompt you to create a mandatory field message. Then there's also validation options to it. If this would be an email, you could choose validate as an email address. Or if this was a phone number, you could validate as a number. Or if you're entering a URL, you can validate as URL or some other custom validation. Choose submit and this adds the name question to your form. You can choose the order of these questions. If you want the name to be above the consent, you can click on reorder and you can drag this up right above the consent question. The settings tab up here controls things such as the submit button label, so you can choose to rename this something other than submit. And you can add CSS classes to the form for additional styling. The Info tab will usually say whether or not this form is used on a page. Currently, this form is not. So once we add this form to a page somewhere in the CMS, it will show here what page the form is being used on. After we have entered in all of our questions, the next thing to do would be to create a workflow. You can click on Configure Workflow down here. Currently, it shows on Submit what will happen. You get a submit message or it goes to a page and it also will send a notification email. You can edit these from here directly, or you can click on the buttons down here to edit these as well. Let's click on Submit Message. So when someone submits this form, the message on Submit will say thank you, or you can choose to redirect the user to a page upon submit. And then from here, you can choose the page from your content tree. Then click Submit. You can label this workflow with a custom name. You can add the recipient email address for the form notification when you get a submission. And then if you have any other email addresses that you want to add to the CC field or the BCC field, you could add those as well. And you can designate where the notification email is coming from as well. When you click Pick Template, it'll give you the options for an example template, a starter template, and uSkinned template. And if we have any other custom templates, this is where these would appear. All the template is the format in which the notification email will be sent to the user upon submission. Once you're done, you click Save and then you have your first form. Any forms that you have created have an entry section. So anytime a user submits to one of these forms, these submissions will appear here in the entry section. This is helpful in case your notification emails aren't going through correctly. This way, you always have a record of who filled out your form, whether or not you get the notification email. These other two sections here for data sources and pre-value sources are things where you can upload a text file, or let's say a list of different options for a dropdown. For instance, if you were to add a question here for, let's just say, country, we're going to choose an answer type of dropdown. Then what you could do is add a pre-value option here. So instead of having to go in here and manually create every single pre-value option, you could choose a pre-value source here, and then this will appear as an option to load into your questions. So all your dropdowns can be completed beforehand rather than doing them manually one by one.